of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the first question that I would detail my journalists to ask members of Parliament before the address would be, what are your expectations on this statement, on the statement of the President? And after that, then I would debrief them on whether the expectations had been met. The Speaker, now I am seated here as a senator, as a leader in this country. I must confess that going by the trend that I've seen this administration conduct itself in public and the suffering that the people of this country have been subjected to by this administration, I did not have any expectations on that address. And so the Speaker, having made that statement, I would want to inform us that the Speaker, Article 132 of the Constitution, the entirety of that article, places an obligation on the President to address Parliament. In fact, the Speaker, even just a casual reading of that article would demonstrate that the President's address to Parliament is the first obligation, it is the first function assigned to the President. So it cannot be a matter of just ticking boxes, that I have done this, I've done that. It must be an address that, Mr. Speaker, brings change and inspires hope in the nation through the leadership of Parliament. The Speaker, the requirements are very clear and very simple, that the President should address us as representatives of the people of this Republic on the state of the nation. Where are we as a country? He is supposed to address us on the measures that have been put in place by his administration and the progress made in realization of the national values and principles of governance as captured in Article 10 of the Constitution. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, is supposed to address us as representatives of the people on the state of our national security. Are our borders safe? Are we safe in this country? That is what the Constitution requires the President to do. Mr. Speaker, having gone through the address of the President over and over again, I must say I am extremely disappointed. Disappointed, Mr. Speaker, because there are issues glaring at Kenyans today that those who had expectations would have wished that the President addressed this nation on those issues. The Speaker, I will mention only 2 or 3. On the matter of the cost of living, Mr. Speaker, and I said I would find a way of navigating that issue of the fertilizer because you are yet to make a ruling on it. But Mr. Speaker, allow me to say that the mention of this subsidy from 6,500 to 2,500, the Speaker, even if that were to be true, is too little at a time like this to be the only thing that the President of a republic mentions when it comes to addressing the issues of the cost of living. I've said many times, Mr. Speaker, that there are people in this region, Kenyans in this country, who don't use fertilizer to grow crops. People who don't use fertilizer to keep their animals, their poultry. And so, Mr. Speaker, if the only serious matter that the President could speak about on bringing down the cost of living was the issue of the fertilizer, then, Mr. Speaker, it is too little to talk about. I would have said a few other things about it, Mr. Speaker, because I'm waiting a ruling. I will stop there. But I will remind the President and this administration that the cost of living